On the night he decided to shut down his laptop for good, Jason received an email from a website he had never visited. You've been selected to join the Abyss. Proceed with caution. There was no link, no unsubscribe button, just a warning. Seconds later, his browser opened on its own to reveal a pitch-black screen with a single message blinking in red. Welcome to the end of the internet. Jason Kline had spent the last 10 years delving into the darkest corners of the internet. He had seen things that would drive most people insane. Shadowy marketplaces where human lives were sold, snuff films disguised as art, encrypted chat rooms where whispers of ancient conspiracies could be found. Yet, Jason had always managed to stay one step ahead. For Jason, the dark web was an escape from the mundanity of his life. He was 36, unmarried, and worked as a freelance programmer, which gave him the time and skills to explore the internet's forbidden depths. But lately, even the darkest corners had started to feel mundane. He thought he'd seen it all, until the night he met the Abyss. It began innocuously. Jason had been sifting through an obscure forum on cryptographic puzzles when his laptop froze. His cursor refused to move. Just as he was about to force a shutdown, the screen went black. He stared at his reflection in the blank monitor, unease settling over him. Then the words appeared. Do you want to see what lies beneath? The question lingered for several seconds. Jason tried to type, but his keyboard was unresponsive. His mouse refused to budge. His only option was the enter key. Against his better judgment, he pressed it. The screen flickered and a new message appeared. Welcome to the Abyss. There is no turning back. Jason's heart began to race. He wasn't new to eerie websites, but this felt different. It felt personal. For hours, Jason sat frozen as his laptop seemed to take on a life of its own. The screen displayed a series of distorted images. Grayscale photos of abandoned buildings, cryptic symbols, and brief, flickering videos of people screaming in the dark. Each image lasted only a moment, but they burned into his memory. He tried everything to stop it. Disconnecting his Wi-Fi didn't work. The power button was unresponsive. Even unplugging the laptop didn't kill the screen. It remained lit, the cryptic imagery continuing uninterrupted. Then the camera feed started. Jason's heart sank when he saw himself on the screen. The footage was live, showing him sitting at his desk, staring into his laptop. The angle was wrong, though. It wasn't coming from his webcam. It was as if someone were standing directly behind him. He whipped around. Nothing. But when he turned back to the screen, his reflection wasn't mirroring him anymore. It was staring straight into the camera, a wide, unnatural grin spreading across its face. Jason slammed the laptop shut. The screen didn't turn off. Desperate, Jason grabbed his phone and called his closest friend, Miles, a fellow programmer who had shared some of Jason's interest in the dark web. Miles, I think something's hacked my system. No, not hacked. It's something else. I need you to come over now. Miles arrived within 20 minutes, armed with a toolkit and a laptop of his own. He was skeptical at first, assuming Jason had stumbled upon an elaborate prank site. But the moment he touched Jason's laptop, the screen changed again. Two explorers in the dark. Only one will return. What the hell is this? Miles muttered, his bravado fading. Before Jason could answer, the room plunged into darkness. Every light in the apartment shut off, leaving the glow of the laptop as the only source of illumination. What did you click on, Jason? Miles whispered. I didn't click anything. The laptop screen flickered, displaying a countdown. 010, 009, 008. Miles scrambled to disconnect the battery, but his tools wouldn't work. The screws seemed fused shut. 003, 002. 001. The screen went black, and a deafening silence filled the room. Then, Jason's phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. Look behind you. Jason and Miles both turned at once, but the room was empty. Then they heard it, a faint, guttural growl emanating from the shadows of the hallway. It was low, almost imperceptible, but unmistakably there. "I'm not staying for this," Miles said, grabbing his bag. "Whatever you've gotten yourself into, I'm out." As Miles turned to leave, the door slammed shut with a force that shook the walls. The laptop screen lit up again, showing Miles standing at the door. "You can't leave now. The game has begun." Miles screamed as the darkness in the hallway seemed to come alive, tendrils of shadow wrapping around his body. Jason watched in horror as his friend was dragged, kicking and screaming, into the void. The door swung open, revealing nothing but a pitch-black expanse where the hallway had been. The screen flashed a single message: "Your turn." Jason ran. He didn't know where he was going. His apartment seemed to twist and warp around him. The walls stretched impossibly high. Doors led to rooms he didn't recognize, and the temperature dropped with every step he took. Finally, he reached the window. Below, the city was gone, replaced by an endless void of swirling black mist. The laptop's distorted voice echoed through the room. "You've always been searching for the truth, Jason. Now you'll see it." Jason screamed, throwing the laptop out the window. It vanished into the void below, but the voice remained, now coming from every corner of the room. "Do you still wish to see what lies beneath?" Jason collapsed to the floor, his mind unraveling as the shadows closed in. The last thing he saw before everything went black was his own reflection, grinning back at him from the darkness. Jason Kline's disappearance was just the beginning. Over the following months, rumors of the Abyss spread like wildfire across the dark web. Users reported receiving the same cryptic invitation, only to vanish without a trace. Some claimed to see Jason's face in the shadows of their screens, his distorted grin a warning of what awaited them. To this day, the Abyss remains an enigma. Some say it's a living virus, a digital entity feeding on the curiosity of those who dare to explore too far. Others believe it's something far older, a primordial force using the internet as a new hunting ground. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. If you receive an invitation to the Abyss, do not accept it. Disconnect your device. Burn it, if you must. Because once you enter, there is no turning back. The disappearance of Jason Kline rippled through the niche circles of the dark web. Threads about him were mysteriously deleted. Accounts discussing his case went silent, their profiles replaced with a chilling banner. Curiosity is fatal, but like moths to a flame, more people sought the Abyss. Rumors spread that it wasn't just a website but a test, a gateway to the ultimate truth hidden within the layers of the internet. Stories emerged, secondhand accounts of survivors, blurry screenshots of the Black Void, and distorted audio recordings of Jason's voice. A particularly chilling rumor described a woman named Alina, a renowned dark web sleuth, who attempted to investigate the Abyss. She claimed to have tracked its origins to a decades-old military experiment. According to her findings, the Abyss wasn't a virus or even a program. It was an entity, a sentient force born from the fusion of human consciousness and artificial intelligence. It was designed to map the limits of the human mind. Alina had posted on an encrypted forum, but it went wrong. Horribly wrong. It became something else, something alive. It's no longer confined to servers or devices. It's everywhere. 2 days later, Alina vanished. Her final post read, "I hear it breathing behind me. God help us all." Jason's return. Weeks after Jason's disappearance, his face started appearing across the web in unexpected places. Not just on the dark web, but in the clearest, safest corners of the internet. Social media platforms reported glitches where his distorted smile would flash during video ads. His voice would interrupt live streams, murmuring incomprehensible phrases in a tone that made listeners shiver. Tech experts dismissed it as an elaborate ARG, alternate reality game, or a particularly sophisticated hack. But those who had ventured into the Abyss knew better. One day, a live stream titled The Truth appeared on Jason's now-deleted YouTube channel. Thousands joined out of morbid curiosity. The screen was pitch black at first, but soon, Jason's face materialized. His once kind eyes were now hollow, his smile grotesquely wide. "I tried to leave," Jason said, his voice echoing unnaturally. "But there is no leaving. It's inside me now. And soon, it'll be inside you, too." The screen cut to static, but viewers reported strange occurrences afterward. Phones wouldn't turn off, their screens flickering with unreadable messages. Laptops played distorted sounds of Jason's laugh even when powered down. Some who watched the stream claimed they were followed by shadowy figures in the days that followed. The Abyss goes global. Within months, the Abyss was no longer confined to the dark web. It had wormed its way into every corner of the internet. Users began receiving strange emails and messages on mainstream platforms. The wording was always the same. "You've been selected to join the Abyss. Proceed with caution." People who clicked the messages were never seen again. Those who ignored them weren't safe either. Their devices would malfunction, screens flickering to life at night, displaying cryptic warnings. "We see you. You can't hide. Curiosity will consume you." Governments scrambled to contain the phenomenon. Cybersecurity firms worked around the clock to develop countermeasures, but nothing worked. Firewalls collapsed. Networks were infiltrated. Even offline devices weren't safe. The Abyss somehow reached them, its influence transcending physical connections. One by one, the experts attempting to neutralize it disappeared. Their empty offices were left with only one sign of their presence, a single phrase written across their monitors. "Welcome to the end." The final days. By the following year, the Abyss had infected billions of devices. It no longer waited for invitations to be accepted. It spread like a plague, consuming entire data centers, wiping government databases and corrupting financial systems. People began reporting strange phenomena in the real world. Distortions in time and space, shadowy figures emerging from screens, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. In the small town of Harrow Falls, an entire neighborhood vanished overnight. The only clue was a laptop left on a kitchen table, its screen displaying the words, "They've crossed over." Survivors from other incidents described terrifying encounters with Jason. He wasn't human anymore. He was something else, a vessel for the entity that had taken root in the Abyss. His appearance signaled doom, his distorted face the last thing most saw before being consumed. And then, one day, the internet went silent. What happened after the Abyss fully emerged remains unknown. Survivors speak of a world that feels wrong, empty streets, flickering lights, and an unnatural stillness. Some say the Abyss has gone beyond the internet, spreading its influence into the fabric of reality itself. Others believe it has turned the world into its hunting ground, feeding on those who once dared to explore its depths. But the most terrifying theory comes from those who disappeared and returned. They speak in whispers, their eyes hollow, their voices trembling. The Abyss is not outside of us anymore. It's inside, and soon it will take us all. Do you want to see what lies beneath?